Cool.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Under the Lights. Today, we're going to be talking about our mock drafts and talking about that with you. Today, I'm joined by Kyle,
Hello.
and we're going to be going over it. So, as we all know, the first draft pick is going to be with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, do you want to start us off?
um. Sure. It's probably well known who the first overall pick is going to be. Um. A lot of people think that the Jaguars need everything, which they do. They went out in the offseason to take Christian Kirk and one other weird wide receiver. Oh, DJ Chark. Um, they got a couple more players, I believe, but nothing to help the defensive side. And I'm grabbing Aiden Hutchinson out of Michigan for the number one overall pick. I mean, he's just built different. If you're looking at everybody in the draft, the number one draft capital, I think that the number one draft thing to grab this draft would be edge because there's so much depth and there's also so much star ability in the draft. So you're going to be seeing a lot of early edge picks for me for this draft.
I believe so as well. For early edges, and also, yeah, Aiden Hutchinson is going to be my first pick as well. Because everyone's just talking about him. Everyone's talking about how good he is. So why not put him at first? Uh, Next up is for the second is Detroit Lions. I believe. Well, okay. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, they're going to get an edge. Oh, they're going to get something else. But I personally, they need a
You
quarterback.
want quarterback here.
Yeah, they gotta get a
Understandable.
quarterback. They're not gonna get rid of Jared Goff right away because of this contract, this stupid contract. But he's been in a Super Bowl. He's been around the league enough to know some stuff. So maybe he could be the starter for this year, and then the quarterback that they get this year can just sit back and just learn from him. But Malik Willis will be my second pick for the Detroit Lions, and yeah, so
Um, all right, for number two pick, I have another edge going here. I think that the Lions are going to draft a quarterback this draft, just not as early as two. I think that they need to capitalize on the number two spot and pick somebody that could really help them in the future. And I think that probably the best pickup here would be Trayvon Walker. You could argue Thibodeau could go here, but I think that Walker really shined in the combine. He's a really good run stopper. He can do lots and lots of things um, for the Lions, and somebody that the Lions have really never had on their team in a while. So I think that Trayvon Walker is probably going to be the best pickup at two. Maybe a Kyle Hamilton. Not really. I don't think Kyle Hamilton can go there. Maybe you could draft like a right tackle at two, or maybe you trade down if you're the Lions. But I don't know. I think that's probably the best pickup they can have is as another star edge. Probably either second or third in the draft when it comes to edge talent.
so for the third pick, where I'm gonna go quarterback again. Uh, they did well. That's if they don't get any free agent wide receiver. I mean quarterbacks. And they didn't. They did not get Baker Mayfield. They did not get anyone. So they need some type of quarterback. So they got to go quarterback in this. Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is, I think, is close to Ryan Tannehill level. Everyone's saying so. That's a good player to kind of just have as a captain and just have at the helm and try and steer this team to something because last season did not look good for them.
I do agree that the Texans need a quarterback, but I think that they're probably going to stick with Davis Mills. for this next season at least, because the next season there's going to be a lot more star-studded quarterbacks in the draft that are very much future proven, um, very much more talent than in this draft when it comes to quarterbacks. I think that they're going to grab probably the best player available at 3, and I think that they're probably going to grab Kyle Hamilton, safety. There are a lot of things when it comes to Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton is big. He's a big safety, so he's probably going to be more of like a linebacker esque safety that comes down, maybe stops the run, but can very much still play in the backfield and very much still like track down players. The only thing that's a negative when it comes to Kyle Hamilton is his speed. He isn't as speedy as maybe somebody like a Tyrann Mathieu, or somebody who's a big or really small safety in the NFL. But I think that Kyle Hamilton can probably shine on the Texans. Maybe bring some kind of light to the Texans on the defensive side, because their next pick, I believe, I have them taking somebody on the I have them taking somebody on the offense. So I think that Kyle Hamilton's probably the best player available there. Get the best out of him for the future, and really bring up those depressed Texans fans.
They've been depressed for a long time. You can
They,
take
they
the
made it to the
fourth.
playoffs in like 2018, I think. I don't remember.
Whatever.
The fourth, I have the Jets picking up Kevon Thibodeau. Thibodeau, I think if the Jets need edge players, you could argue again that the Jets go tackle here. Maybe they go like a right tackle to maybe replace um, who's at the right tackle there? Is it Morgan Moses? Is it the other guy? What's his name? Don't remember. Um, I think that the Jets really need help on the defensive side. The offensive line did struggle in the beginning, but the Jets' defensive line struggled for the whole season. So they need some really big help. You could say that Carl Lawson did, in fact, get injured during the preseason, which sucked for the Jets, but they need somebody that is really going to bring the excitement to the Jets, a really good edge rusher that can take away from that secondary that is absolutely atrocious. Um, but the Jets addressed that this offseason. They got the players that they needed, and they're going to bring in some more players that I think can improve that defensive side and help maybe Zach Wilson relieve some of the pressure on the offensive side.
I went with something more logical. The Jets' offensive line sucks. Also, the defensive line sucks, you could say. But I went Evan Neal, tackle.
Mm.
They need someone for Wilson, because if they don't have anyone, then he's just gonna become a Sam Darnold to them, and then they'll probably kick him out again, and then there's another quarterback out. So just try and up the line, do something to protect the quarterback so he has some time to throw, because he is better than Sam Darnold with on the run throws, but he doesn't need to do on the run throws every play. So let's give him some time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my pick at fourth.
Yeah. Number 5, you could take this one.
All right. So I went with Ahmed Gardner, cornerback, Cincinnati. The Giants, the reason why I didn't go tackle here is because the Giants did a lot in offseason with signing guards, tackles, and just like a couple days ago signing another tackle. And then they also have a 1-year player, 23-year-old from our last draft. Like, we have a lot of linemen. We got rid of all the old ones, all the people that we had before. So, we don't really need any more linemen for our first rounds. We could get it in the second or third, but for the first rounds, I think we need more, kind of everything, because the cornerback James Bradbury is actually probably going to be going to Chiefs or some other team, so we need someone there. So that's a good pick for me.
Um, at 5, I have a player that the Giants need very much so. I totally forgot about James Bradbury leaving the Giants.
That's why.
So I have no quarterbacks, no cornerbacks in the first round for the Giants. I have Evan Neal going to the Giants. The Giants did pick up a lot of linemen, but are those linemen stars? Like, are those linemen those kind of star agile linemen that are going to protect Daniel Jones on arguably maybe his last year in New York? Some people are
Bills
saying.
Lyman.
They did pick up the secondary Bills linemen. They didn't pick up the stars, like the starters. That's what I meant. But still very solid depth added by what is his name? DeBall. What is his name?
What do you mean?
GM. Giants GM.
Oh God.
Yeah, I thought it was DeBall or something, wasn't it? Giants GM. Giants GM.
No,
Um.
Joe.
Oh, Shown. Yeah, Shown. DeBall is your coach.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Regular coach,
Brian DeBall, I think,
head
or something.
coach.
Yeah. But Schoen is really trying to again show his his influence when it comes to bringing the Bills people to as you can see, he brought most of the Bills coaching staff to um the Giants
Which is
headquarters.
totally fine with me.
Yeah. And I think that Evan Neal, he played a little bit of right guard in college. So if you really wanted to maybe bump him to a guard position, he can do that. He could either play left or right side of the ball. I know Andrew Thomas is going to be playing probably right tackle, so maybe bump him to left tackle, or you bump him inside, which is a very much possible thing to do because as we've learned from last year, the Giants' O line was the worst ever. It was very, very bad. And Daniel Jones had to scramble for his life, and he did really good at scrambling out of the pocket. But we need to keep him inside and calm.
That's why I don't like I don't think that they'll pick up the 5 year, but they could do like a year or two deal
Yes.
because he didn't get a lot of room. And he also
Yeah.
did pretty well with what he was freaking
Yeah.
given. So
Yeah.
I guess,
And if the Giants don't like Daniel Jones again next year, they have a very much
then there's
wealthy supply of quarterbacks that they could draft from.
All right.
Um,
So for the
6.
sixth, yeah, Carolina Panthers, probably one of the actual teams that will draft a quarterback in the first because, a lot of people are saying
Yes.
that. And also, a lot of people are saying that the Giants and Panthers will probably swap or
Mm.
something like that. But Carolina Panthers with Desmond Ritter because the other quarterback was taken
Well,
by
3
other.
quarterbacks going in the top 10.
Yes. So that's my pick for the sixth because Sam Darnold is definitely like I didn't say it before when the Jets got him, but I guess he is like a
He's going
Josh Rosen.
he's going to become a journeyman. I believe
Yeah,
it. He's going
that would be good if the Texans, if they don't get a quarterback in the first, that they could just pick him up for 1 year.
Yeah. Maybe the Texans trade down and grab Sam Darnold and the first round and the 6th pick as well.
Yeah,
that
maybe.
could be something that happens, and then the Panthers move up to 2. Who knows? I have at 6 also quarterback. I have my first quarterback going here at Malik Willis. I think that Malik Willis is probably the best potential in the draft. Kenny Pickett is a very good quarterback. Again, I'm not very high on the quarterbacks in this draft, but if we're going to say, the top 3 quarterbacks in this draft, I'd say, or top 4, I'd have, Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, and then you have Matt Corral or Sam Howell. There are a lot of quarterbacks that are these these players that are okay. Malik Willis came from a team that is kind of like how the Jets Zach Wilson, how he came from BYU, but he played in a sort of distant league in a sense. BYU is a big school, of course, but I'm saying Malik Willis coming from Liberty, it's going to be an interesting process of him playing alongside the people at the Panthers facility with Sam Darnold if he's there after the draft. With who they drafted a quarterback last year, don't remember his name. And I believe that Cam Newton is gone. he's
They're
out
not
of,
going to resign him.
he's out the door. So Malik Willis, bring him in. Maybe he can become the next Superman that was Cam Newton. I think that Malik Willis is a double threat. He is mobile. He can throw. But he's going to be needing a lot of training. And good that the Panthers do have CMC so that they can maybe, if they're not very confident in Malik Willis, they could just hand the ball off to CMC and then boom, there you go. So I think Malik Willis is a good pickup by the Panthers, and there's a lot of potential if they wanted to trade down. If they don't think like anybody in the top 10 is going to pick a quarterback, they could trade down to like 11 or something. You could do whatever you want at basically in the top 10. All right, 7.
All right. So for the 7th, I have the New York Giants drafting Jordan Davis, defensive lineman, Georgia. I think that, he screams Giants. He's a freaking giant. So, like, there you go. There's that. But also, we do need defensive linemen, like, meaning the interior, because many of our defensive tackles left. We have the right ends and left ends. We're keyed on that. So we just need someone in the middle and get him as well. So, he can fill up all the holes and he can take up double teams like nobody's business. So I think he's a good pick there.
At 7, I have the Giants taking arguably maybe top 5 in the draft when it comes to talent. I have the Giants taking center Tyler Linderbaum. I think that the Giants need again these young.
We have Nick Gates.
Nick Gates sucks. You can't
No,
say
he doesn't.
Nick Gates good.
Yeah,
I think that Tyler Linderbaum goes to the Giants and really solidifies that center position because you need a good relationship between your center and your quarterback. And I think that a really young and agile and aware Tyler Linderbaum is going to be arguably, people are saying that he's one of the best centers that have come out of college in a long time. I believe that because he is a very, very good player. And I think that the Giants, again, it might be Daniel Jones' last season as a New York Giant. And I think that they need to really try and help Daniel Jones become this star-studded quarterback that they want him to be and chose him for that. So I think that they need help at the line position and get somebody like a Tyler Linderbaum.
All right, number 8, Atlanta Falcons.
I have the Falcons here taking Derek Stingley Jr., LSU. He didn't play a lot last year. Injuries kind of played into effect there. Also, he was just kind of so-so last year, you could say. People don't really know if he's going to be like he was because at LSU, LSU is a great school and a very high school, like a very good D1 school when it comes to these positions. And to grab a cornerback so highly rated as Derek Stingley Jr. is going to be insane. They have AJ Terrell already. on the Falcons, and I think that they need to have a cornerback too. Again, this is kind of best player available at this point in the draft. You could argue they grab a quarterback here, but they have Marcus Mariota. I think they're probably going to stick with Marcus Mariota for 1 year, um, to because they got rid of Matt Ryan. They send him away. I think that they need help on the defensive side much more than they need help on the offensive side, even though they have basically no wide receivers now, because of the gambling thing with what's his name? We don't talk about him, Calvin
Yeah.
Ridley. And then you have the do it all everything, Cordell Patterson. You need wide receiver help, but I think that they need to get the best player available at 8, because taking a wide receiver at 8 would be a very high thing to do, and something that is not the best thing to do, but it's very risky. So I think that they're going to grab Derek Stingley Jr.
I think they're gonna do edge from Georgia, Travion Walker.
Yeah.
He was gonna be highly rated, but Aiden Hutchinson was there, so here he is now at number 8. The when you think of the Falcons and their edge or like their defense, you don't really think of much because you're just keyed on the offense and what is there. But when they get on defense, like what are the names of people there? So I think that getting some help in the edge and trying to pressure some quarterbacks, why not get him?
Yeah.
All right, number 9, Seattle Seahawks.
This is a good pick for me. Again, sadly, Drew Lock is going to be the starting quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks this year, unless they trade again. But I don't think they're going to do that because they didn't have a first rounder, or they did.
They haven't had a first rounder in a while.
They haven't had a first rounder because they traded all their first rounders to the Jets, for Jamal Adams. I think that they're probably going
best safeties.
Yeah, he's so good that he did nothing last year. I think that they're probably going to draft somebody offensively with Akeem Aquanu. I think that the Seahawks need to at least protect whatever quarterback they're going to have. I mean, you could argue if they go best
It's
player
probably
available.
going to do Drew Lock.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be Drew Lock. So I think maybe solidify Drew Lock, and if what's his name needs to come in to back up Drew Lock.
Oh yeah, who's his backup?
Oh man.
I don't think they re-signed what's his face.
You don't think that they re-signed him?
No.
But I think that again, Akeem Aquanu is big, and he's going to be a big help to helping Drew Lock at least stay calm in the pocket. I don't really know what to do here because the Seahawks are down, are spiraling. They're spiraling down.
Oh yeah, ever since
ever since they traded Russell Wilson away. Well, yeah, of course, but like ever since they traded Russell Wilson away, they are dying now. They are rebuilding, and I think that the best possible thing to a rebuild is grabbing linemen. So Akeem Aquanu is my pick there.
All right, same. So we can go on to 10th, which is the New York Jets.
10, I have Ahmed Gardner here. When it comes to the AFC East, it's gotten a lot scarier this offseason. You have Buffalo grabbing Von Miller, right? You have the Dolphins grabbing Tyreek Hill, and you have the Patriots grabbing Devontae Parker. You have all of these, sort of big things happening, and the Jets grabbed Jordan Whitehead, which is a great safety, very young. They grabbed DJ Reed, great cornerback, young. They grabbed that one guy from the Texans, again young. They grabbed a bunch of people from these teams that have had success on the defense, except for the Texans.
Yeah, I was about to say
Um,
Texans, not really.
but having Stephon Diggs, Devontae Parker, and now Tyreek Hill in the AFC East, you need somebody that can protect these against these insanely fast and insanely good wide receivers. And somebody to do that would be Sauce Gardner. I think that it's a no brainer. He's 6'1", and the Jets really haven't had success um, in cornerback land since Darrelle Revis has come to town. So I don't know. I think that the Jets grabbing Sauce Gardner can really help and really, make the Jets secondary what it was back in 2010. So yeah.
I went with an edge. I gave you an edge and later for your defense. Kavion, whatever his last name is.
Mm.
Thibodeaux.
Thibodeau.
That's Thibodeau?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go Thibodeau. So all the reasons why you said before, he's from Georgia. So, they bred players there. So, why not get someone? And also for the edge as well, for the defense, because Jets defense sucks. So, it's nice to get someone that can get some pressure on the quarterback because they have not had enough time because a lot of the players that they go up against have enough time to throw the ball for them to get a touchdown every time.
Yeah.
All right, 11.
The Commanders.
It just says Washington on my team. I don't know why.
This team needs help defensively. They grabbed Chase Young, I think second, or third.
Yeah, I think it was third.
The year that they grabbed him. Again, great pickup. I think that the Washington Commanders need that help on the defensive side. So I gave them the first linebacker going in the first round, Devin Lloyd. I don't know what to say about Devin Lloyd. You need that sort of leader when it comes to defensive players, and linebacker is the number one, leader position. So grabbing somebody like Devin Lloyd is going to help you not only win games, but actually have a better connection with the defensive players. So I think Devin Lloyd is probably the best thing to go there to actually, feel good about your team after you traded for, the best quarterback ever.
No. I went with offensive tackle. They don't. When I think of the Commanders, I don't really think of their offensive line too much. So I just gave them an offensive line. Charles Cross from Mississippi State. Sorry.
Interesting.
Yes, interesting. All right, number 12, Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota Vikings, usually when I'm doing these mock drafts, I give them Derek Stingley Jr. because he falls that far down sometimes for me. I have them picking Trent McDuffie here. Again, probably top 3 when it comes to cornerbacks. Definitely one of the more star-studded cornerbacks when it comes to the draft. I think that the Vikings really need help defensively. They do need help offensively as well, but I think that they need way, way more help defensively because their offense is miles ahead than their defense. And they grabbed Zadarius Smith. They grabbed I think somebody else on the defensive side, but Trent McDuffie. You can never not have too many cornerbacks, and I think that Trent McDuffie is probably the best player to go to the Vikings at this position. You could argue maybe they go tackle here, maybe they go linebacker. I don't think that they're going to go linebacker because they have Anthony Barr, and I believe they picked up a linebacker. So, they could go tackle, they could go defensive, inside defensively. I don't think that's going to happen, and I think that they're probably going to go cornerback to really help them at least win games.
I'm going to stick with the defensive side with you as well, but I'm not going to give him a cornerback, but I'm going to give him a safety. They got Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith, what, like 33, 34 years old? That's not a good age for safeties. So obviously this might be his last year with them, but why not train a rookie under his wing for a year to kind of help with the defense? So Kyle Hamilton will be my first safety going.
Wow, he dropped far.
Yeah, Notre Dame. Well, yeah, because of all the quarterbacks that were going in the first.
Oh yeah, I forgot you did like 3 quarterbacks, which could happen.
It could, but it depends what's going to happen in free agency.
Yeah.
If they don't do anything for what was it, Houston Texans, if they don't do anything, then I think they will do a quarterback at least somewhere in the first round, whether they be what was it, their second or the 13th.
Third or 14th, yeah.
Third or 13th. It would have been either or.
Yeah. They could also go very much early second, because who knows how many quarterbacks are going to be drafted in the first round. Could very much be as little as 2, as most as 5, I believe.
Yeah, because Carolina Panthers are going to go quarterback. Yeah, definitely.
There are a lot of teams that could go quarterback in this draft in the first round, but I think that more teams are going to lean towards their second round picks because they don't want to really, spend too much draft capital on a quarterback.
Yeah, for the first.
Yeah. At 13, I have the Texans picking up somebody that I think that they need. Charles Cross. Again, a tackle. They have Laramie Tunsil, but he's like getting to a point where I don't know if they're going to re-sign him next year. I don't know what they're going to do with Laramie Tunsil, but I think that they need help offensively again at the tackle position. Could be nice to have they're rebuilding. They just got rid of Deshaun Watson for a mega deal for them. Insane deal for a rebuilding team, a team that can easily get back on their feet if they need to, but it's going to take at least 2 to 4 years. I think Charles Cross is a great pickup. He's great at the pass coverage, not so much run, but I think that he could, again, learn under Laramie Tunsil, and see what happens there. If they do re-sign Laramie Tunsil, and maybe they could have the one of the best tackle combos there is. So yeah, that's my 13th pick.
I went edge, Jermaine Johnson from Florida State. Give him something for defense, give him something to be excited about. Yes, they are a rebuilding team, so might be a year or two till like they actually like start using him for what he's worth, because they're in the rebuilding stage. I don't want anyone to get hurt, so might as well see what he's got. It all right. So 14th, Baltimore Ravens.
This one I have an interesting pickup here. I have the Ravens lost a lot defensively this year. They also gained a lot defensively this year. They grabbed Marcus Williams, great safety. Their secondary is one of the better secondaries that there is. I think that Marlon Humphrey is a great cornerback. There are a lot of great people on that secondary on the defensive side of the Ravens, but I have them picking defensively also. Devonte Wyatt goes to the Ravens. I think that Devonte Wyatt is an interesting pickup because, Georgia, again, great defensive players. But the thing with Georgia is that they have this system where, it's constantly rotating of players coming in and out. And they have Jordan Davis, of course, coming in as well on the Georgia side of the ball, interior, for the defensive side. But I think that Devonte Wyatt shows more um, has less of a health concern when it comes to, uh, you know, playing. Uh, Jordan Davis is really, really big. That could play into the way that he does play. Who knows how Jordan Davis is going to play um, this upcoming season? But I think that whoever you go on the Georgia side of um, for the defense is going to be great. So I drafted Devontae Wyatt to the Ravens.
I picked Derek's Stingley,
Mm-hmm.
Derek Stingley Jr. Picked him from LSU. I pick him in Madden every time, so he does pretty good there. He gets superstar X factors, so that's totally fine with me. So why not give him to the Baltimore Ravens? Yes, they have a good cornerback, but also you don't have one cornerback on the field. You have two or three sometimes. So that's why I picked him. He could do really well. Also learn under all the cornerbacks that they have there, and yeah, 15th, Philadelphia Eagles.
Now Philly and the Saints were involved in a massive deal recently that they traded. I think the Saints. I believe that the Saints traded their 18th pick for the 19th pick and something in a bunch. I don't remember the trade exactly, but um, the Eagles, or it was the 16th and 19th. I don't remember exactly, but the Eagles are going to pick up Nakobe Dean out of Georgia, linebacker. I think that the Eagles are probably the best team in the NFC East as of right now. The Cowboys were, but they fell tremendously this offseason. The Commanders are still there. I don't know what they're doing. The Giants are building. They're in a weird spot between rebuilding and building. Um, and the Eagles are probably the team that has everything most set. Um, and I think that the Eagles just need a lot of defensive help so that they can really showcase that offensive side of the ball. They could pick up a wide receiver because they do need wide receiver help, but I think that the Eagles do need that defensive help that will get them back to where they were in 2019. Yeah.
I picked cornerback. Darius Slay is getting up there in age. Not as fast as they used to be. And also I'm pretty sure they don't even have any more cornerbacks. I'm pretty sure there's one more, but I totally forget his name. So I went with Andrew Booth Jr. from Clemson. So, Clemson players, they're always good. So why not pick a cornerback, He could learn under Darius Slay. He could do something there. And it's nice to have good depth in cornerbacks because you never know who's going to go down. You never know, the situation. Third and something, whatever. So it's good to have another cornerback for number 15th.
Mm.
All right, New Orleans Saints number 16th.
The Saints lost their left tackle Eric Armstead this offseason, and I think you just got to replace him. So I went tackle Bernhard Ryman uh, out of Central Michigan. I think that the number one thing that you have to do if you're the Saints is, again, they could go quarterback here. This is a team that is in a weird position where they just traded up in the draft. Um, before the draft even happened. So they have a plan set in motion where they could grab a quarterback at 16. And then what they do at 19 is grab a wide receiver. That could be a possible combo that they do. But I think that that in my mind the most no brainer thing to do is grab a tackle at um at 16 and maybe have a little bit more faith in Jameis Winston. Um, he played good last year. He didn't play terrible. He wasn't extremely horrible. Um, and I think I don't know. Give him one more year just in case.
Uh, they did not go up in the draft to get a quarterback because most of the quarterbacks on my mock draft are gone. So, there's no one left really to give for a to draft up on or to do a massive deal with that. So they need a wide receiver, to have Jameis Winston. What is it, Michael Thomas? He is injury prone. He always has injuries left and right. He's not even that good anymore. And also, he's getting up there in age. So I went with Garrett Wilson, will actually be my first wide receiver on the board from Ohio State.
All right.
Number 17, Los Angeles Chargers.
Okay, so the Chargers are in an interesting position. I think that the Chargers need to, Keenan Allen again is old. He's getting to a point where he is old. Um, he's getting older, and they just signed Mike Williams for some big money. And I think that Keenan Allen is going to want that big money, but I don't think that the Chargers are going to give him that big of a money, and I think that they're probably going to go with a wide receiver at 17, Drake London out of USC. Um, Now, USC is an interesting position for wide receivers. I think Ohio State is more known for the wide receiver position, and I like Garrett Wilson a lot. I just think that I don't know. I think that if you're going to replace Keenan Allen with somebody, it would be Drake London because Drake London's kind of in that same thing when it comes to size and speed and stuff. Drake London's a lot faster, but um, I don't know. You could use him the same as a Keenan Allen, maybe if you really want to, but give Justin Herbert those young wide receivers that he needs to get somewhere. So yeah.
I went with a offensive tackle. Just to have Justin Herbert protected a little bit more. I could see him being in the playoffs again, obviously, by the weapons that he has now. And also, why not build that offensive line, to give him some more time to throw. He is known as a mobile quarterback, and he does a lot of on the run throws. So I think he needs a little more time in the pocket, just a couple more seconds to just read his routes and just make sure that he could throw the ball, set his feet before. So, I think that that
Oh yeah.
Trevor Penning is a good offensive lineman for from Northern Iowa.
Oh yeah. The thing with the Chargers is that Justin Herbert has probably one of the biggest arms we've seen in football in a while, and giving him the time to throw extremely far is going to be nice with a Trevor Penning, somebody who's known to be absolutely ruthless when it comes to protecting his quarterback. So, a great pickup there by the Chargers. The 18th pick here with the Eagles.
Eagles, I have a edge. George
Garfilatus, I think. That's how I pronounce.
Karflatis. Yeah, I guess. Purdue University from Purdue University. I kind of just gambled with the what the Eagles need. Really, they don't really need much, as I don't really like them too much, but they're probably, I'd pick them over the Cowboys instantly. But I could see him going edge here. They need a lot more defensively than offensively, so I think it's just having that edge and just having that a little more, so they can do a lot of rushes and just do a little more blitzes, and actually get something out of it would help them tremendously. So that's what I went with for
Yeah.
18th.
I also went Garfilatus for that pick. 19, the Saints, I have a wide receiver. As you said before, Garrett Wilson is going
Okay,
to the
so we just
Saints. Um, different pick up there, but I think I don't think you're gonna have to worry about that. I don't think the Eagles are probably not going to draft Garrett Wilson. Maybe they do if they think that Jalen Hurts needs more weapons. Um,
mm,
but it's very sticky, that
maybe
situation.
like in the third or second.
Yeah, a good pick would be a second rounder for a wide receiver, maybe for the Eagles. But I think that Garrett Wilson's probably going to go to a team that needs him most, like the Saints. The Saints have struggled with wide receivers for a while. Michael Thomas has been that guy that it's like week 2 and everybody's cheering his name, and then he's walking off the field with an injury. So he is, not going to be probably re-signed. I don't think that Michael Thomas is a guy that needs that sort of big money because he doesn't do anything. So I think that replacing him with a Garrett Wilson or having them side by side play with each other would be great. Having a slant receiver like Michael Thomas, and then having a deep threat or a really 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 good leader at with Garrett Wilson. Um, Wide receiver 1 at Ohio State is a hard thing to get, and that's something that Garrett Wilson has in his resume and something that he's going to use in the Saints. So,
I went with an offensive lineman for the
mm,
Saints. I just,
did
flip
we
flop
did we
too.
just flip flop?
Uh,
Same.
Zion Johnson.
Oh, yeah, no
No,
flip flop there.
from Boston College. I'm pretty sure I gave away a lot of offensive linemen in the draft, and he was just the next name up. So I kind of just picked him.
Yeah.
So 20th, Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, this is an interesting pick. The Pittsburgh Steelers don't need much defensively. They need a lot offensively. I went with a quarterback here, Kenny Pickett. Um, they signed Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, I think that he's going to be the starter.
They have Mason Rudolph. They have all of these quarterbacks, but I think that they need competition for that cornerback position because Kenny Pickett is a quarterback that people are kind of gambling on. He came from Pitt, so he's just staying in Pittsburgh. Um, but I think that he needs to compete for the starting position. If he doesn't get it, then he, plays under Mitch Trubisky for a year or two. Not the worst thing ever. And then, he finally comes to his ultimate rise that he was made to be. Mitchell Trubisky is a person that they brought in, um, but if there's the second quarterback in the draft, the second rated quarterback in the draft at 20, and you don't need to trade up to get a quarterback, I think that they are probably going to take a quarterback at 20. Um, Mitchell Trubisky is not the long term option. Same with Mason Rudolph. He's just there. He's a backup, if you want to argue. I mean, just look at the time when Ben Roethlisberger was out with an injury. They played awful. They did play awful, and you know it's hard to really combat that. And I think that the best thing to do is draft a quarterback now or next year. Maybe they get a tackle here or something. Who knows? Surround Mitchell Trubisky with protection or go quarterback. That's what I did.
I went offensive lineman for Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that they're just gonna let Trubisky play for a year, see what he can
Mm,
do, and if he's not good at all, like if he's like a Mason Rudolph, they're not going to probably sign him for extension. I don't really know what the deal was. I don't know if it's like a 1 year or a 2 year, but but I think that they're just going to let him play, see what he can do, but give him some offensive linemen just to play with and see if he can just stay in the pocket for like a little bit.
Mm.
Uh, Tyler Linderbaum.
Oh, goes to the Steelers.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they need center help since their center retired. Um. All right.
New England
Patriots.
Patriots.
I have the Patriots going with a wide receiver. They need wide receiver help. They grabbed Devontae Parker from a in division rival, which was weird. Um, the Dolphins, of course. So I think that they're probably going to want to build that wide receiver core around Mac Jones because last year we saw he didn't really have too much wide receivers to toss to. I mean, he had N'Keal Harry. Not a lot of people. I don't even know if N'Keal Harry's still in the squad. He had weird wide receivers. And I think that probably the best wide receiver to get there is Jameson Williams coming out of Alabama. Again, great place to grab wide receivers out of. Jameson Williams kind of proved his worth at Alabama. Really, really fast, and somebody that the Patriots need that Mac Jones could throw to. I mean, he does have the tight end combo, of course, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, but they need fast wide receivers that Mac Jones can just fling the ball up to and not have to worry, you know, of course. So that's who I have going to the Patriots there.
I have. Well, I think that they're gonna go wide receiver second round. They're not gonna go first round. Because I think that they're gonna go Trent McDuffie, cornerback, Washington. Learn under Stephon Gilmore. And because I'm pretty. Wait, is Stephon Gilmore back there or no? Oh,
He's he's at the.
I thought
Panthers.
he. Oh, he's still there. I thought he got released.
I don't know. He's either like just lingering or he's at the
Okay, so he's lingering.
Panthers.
So no learning under Stephon Gilmore.
Learning under Kyle Duggar.
Yeah, Kyle Duggar. But he could probably be better. So I think that it's good to have more depth for the cornerbacks, and he's a good player for that position.
Yeah. Okay, so the Patriots do need help defensively. The Packers traded away Devontae Adams, draft a wide receiver right there.
Yep.
I have a different wide receiver going here than probably you. I have Treylon Burks.
Damn it.
Going here to the Packers. I think that the Packers need that big wide receiver that Devontae Adams was, that big guy, and just replace him with a big guy again. Who knows if Treylon Burks is going to be a Devontae Adams level wide receiver, but I do believe that you need to grab a wide receiver at the 22nd pick, whether it's Jameson Williams, whether it's Treylon Burks, whether it's where's the other one? Chris Olave. Draft a wide receiver there because you need that wide receiver help. I mean, your starting wide receiver is Alan Lazard, and that is bad. So you need to improve upon your situation there.
I went with someone that is huge, 6'5", 220. Drake London, wide receiver from USC.
Oh yeah.
Like you just said, the height and the amount that this guy weighs to be a receiver.
You need a big guy there.
A big guy.
Devontae Adams.
Exactly. So yeah, wide receiver for wide receiver. You get him, you get rid of him, you get one right there.
Need to combat that.
Yeah. Arizona Cardinals.
The Cardinals. You can go first on this one.
All right. KLM, cornerback, Florida. Arizona Cardinals. Not much I can say like about their defense. It's all just about their offense. Like, DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver. Kyler Murray, quarterback. He's really mobile. He can throw on the run. He can stay in the pocket. So there's nothing really need to do for the offense for the first round pick. But cornerback Florida, from Florida, is probably the best bet. So they could do something on defense as well and help the defense out a little bit.
I picked up somebody actually on the offensive side. Defense, you have JJ Watt, somebody
Well, that's just the
who was
line.
sort of injured last year. You have Buda Baker. You have these stars, but the defense was super hype last year. Everybody was so excited to see this combo of Buda Baker and JJ Watt together, just destroying quarterbacks. But did that happen?
No,
No, it did not. So you could say like, oh, then they need some defensive help. They can go that second round again. Very deep edge draft, very deep wide receiver draft. You know, very deep draft for these core positions. But I think that they need to help Kyler Murray, even though he is a scrambling demon. He loves scrambling. He is a very mobile quarterback, but he needs the help inside to keep him calm and in his zone. So if he wants to scramble, he can, but he doesn't have to be tracked down by 5 defensive linemen that got through. So I think Zion Johnson goes to the Carolina Panther, not the Carolina Panther, the Cardinals. Man, that was hard for me to do there.
Yep, Dallas Cowboys. I could have went an offensive tackle for them because he needs some help there, but I didn't because I gave a lot of offensive linemen to just people up in the beginning. So there's not really much left. So I'm going with Boy Calf or Maff or whatever.
Boye Mafe.
Boy Mafe, oh my god. From Minnesota for edge.
Yeah. The Cowboys lost like half their team basically during the offseason. Everybody kind of left and went to the Broncos. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Everybody sort of left. Everybody left. Randy Gregory, he was going to sign a deal with the Cowboys, but then saw everybody going to the Broncos, and he was like, "Psych, I'm going to the Broncos." For the same amount of money, he just wanted to go somewhere else. And then they lost a lot of offense. They lost big offensive line help there. Also, they lost their offensive line, some of their offensive line, but I think that they are probably going to need to rebuild. They're going to have to do something this draft to help them rebuild, even though they need that offensive help. I'm going again, best player available right now. That's probably going to be Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis is a big guy. He can be compared to like Vita Vea, these big guys. It's just whether he's going to be that big explosive guy that is fast and big, or is he going to be that guy that is, fast but needs to take a break every now and again? Who knows? I think that Jordan Davis goes here at 24. 25, the Bills.
25 Bills. I went with Kyler Gordon, cornerback Washington.
The Bills, their defense was number 1 last year, which was crazy. I don't even know how that's even possible. I went wide receiver Chris Olave. They have Stephon Diggs.
I guess they could get rid of Cole Beasley or whatever.
They released Cole Beasley earlier this year.
So I need someone for that.
And they signed Jamison Crowder, but do you really want Jamison Crowder as your second wide receiver or even your third? I do think that they probably go wide receiver here. Chris Olave is probably going to be wide receiver 2. somebody who's the same size as Stephon Diggs and is going to learn under a great wide receiver that is Stephon Diggs. I hate giving the Bills a great pick like this, but best player available again.
Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee Titans are a team that kind of needs a lot more than people think. You know, they made it so far in the season last year, but they kind of needed a lot of positions. I think that the Titans need that guy defensively. They need that guy, and I think that they're probably going to draft a David Ajabo here. David Ajabo was probably going to be top 5 edge, but he dropped significantly because of injury. Again, he's a Michigan guy, just like Mr. Aiden Hutchinson. But you know, I think that David Ajabo is going to need some time to rehab and rebuild himself to maybe get to that spot. That's why I don't think he might even go in the second round, which is very possible. But I think that he's probably going to go either at 26 or at like 30 or second round.
Tennessee Titans. I have a wide receiver, Jameson Williams, Alabama. Have another weapon for Ryan Tannehill to throw to. AJ Brown can't just be the only one, and Julio Jones is up there in age, and he's all right. He's not the number one. He's better than the Saints' number one wide receiver, but he's not the long-term answer for a wide receiver. So why not learn under both of them for an Alabama wide receiver like him?
Yeah, and who knows if AJ Brown's going to stay on the Titans, because there's talk that maybe the extension of AJ Brown does not go through. If it doesn't, then they're going to need a wide receiver anyway, so might as well draft one. And again, learn under a great veteran that is Julio Jones. 27.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I have Tampa Bay taking Kenyon Green, guard.
Actually, same here.
It's weird because you look at the Buccaneers and you're like, they don't need line help. They do. They don't need line help. It's like they're fine. No, they need tremendous line help. I think that the Buccaneers, having somebody as old as Tom Brady as your starting quarterback, you need some big protection for him so that he doesn't get sacked and maybe like break every single bone in his body because he's like 50. It's just something that needs to happen, and I think that Kenyon Green is probably going to go to the Buccaneers. Who knows if Todd Bowles is going to be a good head coach? He wasn't in the past, but that's besides the point. Let's just hope he's not coaching any of the offensive side of the ball. But I think that Kenyon Green probably goes at 27. This is a good pick I see happening. Or Zion Johnson. One of the guards is probably going to the Buccaneers. I don't see Linderbaum dropping this low.
Green Bay Packers, number 28.
This one is an interesting one. So you're drafting a wide receiver at your pick that you traded away Davante Adams for. But at your actual pick, what do you pick up? Somebody like a tackle. You're probably not going to use a tackle because you used all your tackles early on. I have Trevor Penning going here. A great, ferocious guy. Great and live. He can throw people down very aggressively. He's very much a big guy, somebody that can protect Aaron Rodgers when he's throwing to his new wide receiver, Treylon Burks.
I got David Ajabu going for edge from Michigan. I don't really hear too much about their defense, so why not just give them an edge?
They did lose Zadarius Smith.
So, why not, rebuild, one
Replace
person
him.
leaves, just like, Fonte Adams, get another one to replace him, and boom, there you go. It's like you never lost them. So,
Oh yeah.
all right. So back to back Chiefs picks.
All right. So both of the Chiefs picks are going to be defensive for me. I have Khair Alam going to the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, when you talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, what do you talk about? You talk about the offensive side of the ball. You're like, oh, Juju is now chief.
Doesn't matter.
You have you have Patrick Mahomes, one of the best quarterbacks that you think of in this generation. Um, but you look towards the defensive side of the ball, and you're like, what happened? Chris Jones is the only star on the defensive side of the ball. You need those big people that can help because the defensive side of the ball is what caused Kansas City to take a tremendous slump towards the beginning of the year, and they need tremendous help at the cornerback position and the edge position. So I have them picking up Khair Alam from Florida and Jermaine Johnson Jr. from Florida State.
I have Kansas City Chiefs drafting Jahan Dotson, wide receiver from Penn State University. Tyreek Hill left, replace him with a wide receiver, a young wide receiver. Juju is just going to be distracted with TikTok, so he's not going to be doing much. So, why not have a wide receiver a young wide receiver to take the place of Tyreek Hill? It might not be as fast as Tyreek Hill, but, it's a
Jahan
wide
Dotson
receiver.
is a big guy.
Yeah. So, and it's like it's like a Devontae Adams.
Mm.
So, or DK Metcalf. And also for their 30th is Daxon Hill, safety. They need a safety after losing their safety as well. So, like I said, like we've been saying before, you lose them, replace them. There
Never
you
mind.
go.
Jahan Dotson is very small. For some reason I thought Jahan
I
Dotson
thought so too. What do you
was
mean?
big. No, he's 5'11" for some reason.
Oh, then
Um,
perfect. Tyreek Hill.
um,
Hopefully it's quick.
yeah. So at 31, I'd like to have the Bengals picking an offensive tackle or an offensive guard or something, but I don't think it's going to happen. There's no more first round talents when it
There's
comes to
one more.
tackles and guards in the first round to me at least. I have the Bengals picking probably the best player available in the first round, and that's probably Jalen Pitre, cornerback, Baylor. Um, I don't know what to say. Like they need. Did you? I mean, in the Super Bowl, you saw Eli Apple get absolutely
Oh yeah,
tremendously
Eli Apple
dropped.
sucks. That's why the Giants got
He,
rid of him.
he got bodied by every single pass that was thrown his way. He just got demolished by Cooper Cup or OBJ. He got demolished. So why not replace Eli Apple with somebody like Jalen Pitre to play under Jalen Ramsey, arguably the best cornerback like out of this generation.
Under Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, cornerback.
Bengals.
Oh,
I was like, did a trade happen that I wasn't aware of?
not Jalen Ramsey. Who is the starting cornerback of the
I don't know
Bengals?
any starting quarterback.
I know him, but I don't.
I just know Eli Apple and he sucks.
Eli
So
Apple was cornerback too. Yeah, but Eli Apple was very very bad.
I have the last lineman going in the first round is Tyler Smith. Just to give the quarterback of, I forget his name again.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, yes. Joe Burrow, some time to throw. In the Super Bowl, he seemed a little like he needed a little more time. Maybe he was getting pressured a lot more. So why not get an offensive lineman? And that'll be the last offensive lineman that I'm going to be using for this.
All right.
All
And
right.
then at 32, the Lions select Sam Howell, quarterback, North Carolina. Um, for some reason, he's number one rated on PFF. Um, for
Maybe he goes
quarterbacks,
earlier.
I don't know why, but people are dropping him to like top 6 quarterback for some reason. I like Sam Howell. I think he's a good triple threat or double threat, I guess you could call it. He's kind of like a Zach Wilson in a way. He's kind of like a Zach Wilson in a way. Um, but I think that Sam Howell probably goes to the Lions. I think the Lions use their 32nd pick for a quarterback regardless. Um, I think that they're probably going to use the second pick for somebody that's going to improve their future, and then maybe the 32nd pick on a quarterback that they could take a gamble on because it's the 32nd pick. You know, something that they can use for something like a quarterback. So
I drafted a quarterback earlier in the draft, so they don't need a quarterback at this point. They need a wide receiver to throw to. Chris Olive from Ohio State is my last pick in the NFL draft.
interesting.
Yes, very interesting. All right. If you got anything else to say about that pick or whatever, then we can just end this and
No, I don't have anything else.
All right. Well, thank you everyone so much for listening or watching, depending on where you are, Spotify or YouTube. Thank you everyone so much for watching and hearing, and we'll see you next time under the lights.